The already fragile diplomatic channels between Washington and Tehran has taken a dramatic hit. United States President Donald Trump has announced that America will no longer send a delegation to negotiate with Iran. In a sharp and ambiguous statement, Donald Trump effectively flipped the script on months of back-channel diplomacy, telling the Iran if they want to talk, they know where to find him. It is a move that signals a fundamental shift in how Washington intends to approach one of the most dangerous and closely watched standoff. Trump made the declaration in an interview with Fox News on Sunday, and his words left very little room for interpretation. The president said flatly that he was done dispatching American representatives on long international trips to sit across the table from Iranian officials. His position was blunt. If Iran wants dialogue, Iran can pick up the phone or Iran can come to Washington. The era of the United States chasing negotiation in Trump's framing is over. The practical consequence of this announcement is significant. Until now, Pakistan had been playing a quiet but important role as the host of countries from indirect talks between America and Iran delegation in Islamabad. Those meetings, held away from the international spotlight, represented one of the few remaining threads of diplomacy between two countries that have remained no formal diplomatic relations. Trump acknowledged Pakistan's role and said Islamabad would remain involved going forward, but the structure of those talks has now fundamentally changed. At the heart of Trump's position is one non-negotiable demand that as repeated consistently throughout his presidency, Iran must not be allowed to develop or possess nuclear weapons. He was explicit on Sunday, stating that Iran already knew what any agreement must contain and what the terms are. In his words, very simple: no nuclear weapon. Everything else is suggested flow from that single requirement. Without movement on that course issue, Trump indicated there is no point in meeting at all. This is not a new position for Trump administration, but the manner in which it was delivered on Sunday represent a noticeable hardening of tone. Rather than expressing openness to resume talks and calling on Iran to return to the table, Donald Trump has now placed the entire burden on diplomatic initiative squarely on Tehran. It is a posture designed to project strength, and to that will read very carefully in capital across the Middle East and beyond. Tehran's response was not long in coming. Iranian President Mahmoud Basekian pushed back directly, with his office releasing a statement in the hour of Sunday, making the Iranian government frustration clear. The president argued that American pressure and what he described as hostile action are actively eroding trust and making it hard, not easy, to revive meaningful negotiation. He went further, saying that Washington cannot credibly pursue diplomatic engagement while simultaneously increasing economic and military pressure on Iran. Such action, the Iranian president says, destroy the very foundation that diplomacy requires to function. It is a response that captures the central paradox of the current Iran-US dynamic. Washington says it is open to deal, but the demand to Iran terms first. Tehran say it is open to talks and says American must ease pressure before genuine progress is processed. Both sides are in effect waiting for other to blink, and neither shows any sign of blinking. This latest development does not exist in isolation. It comes just as President Donald Trump has convened an emergency situation room meeting at the White House to assess Iranian threats and review military and diplomatic response options. It comes as reports emerge of suspicious Iranian movement near international shipping lanes in the Gulf, and if comes a global energy market remains on the edge over the security of the Strait of Hormuz, the waterways through which a significant share of the world oil supply passes every single day. Taken together, the picture that emerges is one of two powers moving in opposite direction at the moment when the cost of miscalculation could not be higher. Trump is pulling back from active diplomacy and demanding Iran to come for him. Iran is pushing back against the pressure, insisting conditions for talks do not exist, and somewhere in between, the rest of the world, from Europe capitals to Gulf states to Asian economies depend on Middle Eastern oil, is watching and hoping that something somewhere finds a way to pull back from the edge. For now, the phone line between Washington and Tehran is open. Whether anyone picks it up is another question. This runs comfortably